I want to share with you a super simple way how to come up with new habits, how to track them, and how to do everything without using your phone. So let's begin. So what you'll need is a piece of paper or a notebook, a pen, and ideally a ruler. Now, the type of paper that you'll use doesn't really matter. I just used anything that I had around the house. What we're going to do, we first need to identify, of course, what kind of habits do we want to improve. So we're just simply going to start by drawing a stick figure. We'll represent you in version 1.0. And we're going for this improvement areas, right? So we're going to draw another, and this is like your improved version. And now you're glowing and stuff, and you're like super happy and doing all this stuff that you wanted to do. If we come up with some areas that you want to improve, right? So such as, anything that has to do with your health, relationships, maybe want to throw in something a bit more exciting, such as creative developments. And last but not least, let's add something that has to do with your financial situation. So let's say financials. You take these areas, you start coming up with simple things that you could do in each. Let's start from 1 to 2 things. Later, we're gonna turn those into actionable habits that you can do every day. So for health, I'll just put start working out, do a better diet. I wanna cook more, so I'll just say creativity can be anything that is, for example, guitar, like playing the guitar, learning to play, maybe drawing, maybe singing, maybe poetry, anything that has to do with creativity that is relevant for yourself. For my own sake, I'm just gonna put financials is pretty straightforward. Normally anything that allows you to either save more money or to get more money. So I'll put here investing. And for relationships, I'll put something very simple. Let's say I want to make myself available to meet new people in my life. So identify a few areas, and we have a few things that we can work here with. And I'm going to take those items that you had from before. So this is your 2.0 version. For health, we want to be working out, and diet activity, I'll put practice an instrument. In my case, it's going to be the guitar because I like playing guitars. We said social gatherings, and financials, learning about investments. So we have these few things. I kind of simplified the way of few items, a few habits that we want to improve. Now, before we get into plotting these out, there's another thing to take into account is that, of course, we all are limited by time. Right, so we're gonna put here less and then more. So basically what we're trying to do here is that normally time does just not appears magically in your day, right? So everyone has the same 24 hours and you choose activities in your day-to-day based on the situations, based on how's the day is going, how's your mood, and all of those things. So you cannot just pull out an hour out of nowhere. Right, so you want to do more of one and less of the other. So I'll put working out and I'll say 1 hour of sport. I guess I can doom scroll less. And doom scrolling is going to be like a big topic for myself because I do have a very love-hate relationship with my phone. It's just not really helpful. And for cooking, so it's going to be, again, let's say, I don't know, on average it's going to take me 30 minutes to cook. Of course, there's like a preparation aspect to it, and you need to kind of buy groceries and plan this type of things. But let's put here less of eating out, and this can be anything, right? Like, so sometimes you eat out at your work or at the university or whatever you're doing, but you have that. Social gatherings. This is an interesting one, and the reason why I put it here, since 2020, I got extremely comfortable being alone. And it's an interesting side effect that happens with this, right? So one of the things that is happening is that I can spend a whole week without meeting anybody, especially if I can work from home the whole week. It just becomes so easy and comfortable to kind of isolate. So I'll put here, putting myself into situations where I meet other people. And financials, say spending 30 to 60 minutes just learning basically how to invest, learning where to invest, platforms, strategies, listening to people who built a career investing and things like that. If it's true that you end up 3.5 hours average on a day, that's actually already enough to do all of these, and you'll still should have time left. But let's see how it goes. So the next step in building this habit tracker is now you're going to have where you're going to take the time from, what you're going to substitute it with, and now let's get into tracking. All right, let's do like that, and here we're going to put a vertical line going up. And basically each square is going to be your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, whatever. Now I have my items that I want to add here, right? So I'm just going to list those. Again, these are just suggestions. So basically, for the sake of example, how you can do this, you can write anything you want that is contributing to your 2.0 version. Now what you're going to do is that basically when you track these days and you want to build a habit basically to have this piece of paper or your notebook somewhere around where you see it all the time, but you want to get into the habit at end of each day that you're going to look at this page and basically just write down what you did that day. And we're not going for a full day tracking because that can be very cumbersome and tedious. I think there's benefits to do that, but now we're just looking at those habits that contribute to 2.0 version and basically contributes to do less of the things that you don't want to do and more of the things that you do. Let's put here that I did sports and I also cooked and I practiced guitar, but I didn't meet anybody. And then the other day, normally what you'll be doing is that at the end of each day, you're gonna be putting and marking how the day went. You're gonna assign that day the amount of habits that you hit that are contributing to your new version. So again, I'm just doing this and pre-filling the whole week at a time. Normally gonna do one day. So you have the score and you're gonna plot out the same graph. You want to take the horizontal, which is gonna signal which day of the week it is, or maybe you're going to track the whole month, and you're going to take your vertical, which is going to indicate how that day went, how many activities did you hit. You take these, you connect the dots, and you have a graph of how well you're doing keeping up with your new habits. And for the sake of this example, it looks pretty boring, right? Like, I mean, this is just one bump that in the middle of the week you had maybe more energy, maybe you had more sleep. If you're journaling, this contributes greatly because in your journal you could write down how you felt that day. So then you can look for patterns and understand better why some days are better to build new habits and some days are not. And of course, if I look at other examples, I did it before. So maybe it was like 2-3 weeks, but I did before, and I had a bunch of more items basically that I was tracking. And then it gets more exciting because then you have like a full graph, and then when I have the next day, and I start plotting them, you see these ups and downs that you go through. And I remember this day in particular, I felt sick, so I did absolutely nothing, and that's okay because some days are gonna be like that. And that is it. So basically, I hope you enjoyed your creation of a new habit tracker. Do try it out. Let me know if it works, if it doesn't work. Most importantly, you need to keep this notebook somewhere where it's visible. Otherwise, you just write a bunch of stuff down, you put it in a drawer, and you forget all about it. So the whole direction is to create habits that stick. It's not about the notebook, but the notebook helps to be accountable, to be more aware how you spend your time. This is something that worked for myself, and I use it mostly for small habits, such as, playing guitar and working out. I hope it helps you to do something more also. This was the very first episode of Make Journey Stories of Starting Over. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.